In 2007, the quiet city of Dnepropetrovsk in Ukraine was shattered by a grim series of events. Two young men, Vladimir and Igor unleashed a reign of terror unlike anything seen before. They were responsible for at least 21 murders. But the nightmarish part? They documented some of their brutal exploits on video. It wasn't just about the bloodshed. It was about control, fear, and the chilling randomness of their attacks. Yet there was something more sinister lurking beneath the surface: no evidence, no witnesses, and no bodies. Picture this: to seemingly ordinary friends, laughing over a drink while behind the masks of normalcy, a grotesque orchestration of violence was unfolding. As the sun set, so did the darkness within them come alive, invisible to everyone else. One moment they were enjoying the camaraderie of youth, and the next, they were orchestrating cold-blooded acts of terror. Authorities were alerted after a series of disappearances began to whisper through the streets. But there was a chilling twist, friends. Family members, even the police couldn't connect the dots. Victims simply vanished into thin air, with no signs of struggle, no witnesses to report anything unusual. How could such atrocities happen in a city that prided itself on peace? Days turned into weeks as the sense of fear permeated the air, creating a fog of paranoia. Residents exchanged uneasy glances. The peaceful community was being chilled by whispers of fear. What was happening? Then it happened. In a supposedly random act of violence, a victim was discovered, a young man who had been brutally attacked, yet witnessed by no one. Authorities soon realized these disappearances were linked by a pattern of sheer brutality. But still, the reasons eluded them. Detectives hurriedly investigated, but the confounding circumstances made their tasks unbearably complex. Each victim seemed to be a mere plaything in the hands of their merciless killers. Were they prey for sport? Random victims to feed the cruel whims of two disturbed minds? The investigation spiraled into chaos when a confidential source revealed that video files showcasing their atrocities existed horrifically, showcasing each violent act captured in their gruesome glory. But the most horrifying part wasn't the footage. It was what the killers recorded after their acts, a twisted commentary filled with laughter and bravado, expressing pride in their brutality. Suddenly, the story morphed into something that felt borrowed from a low-budget horror movie. As investigators inched closer to uncovering the truth, unsettling inconsistencies began to arise. The victims' connections seemed random, yet oddly intimate, a mix of strangers and acquaintances. Everyone asked the haunting question: why them? The police pulled together foray after foray, trying to link the killers to the crime scenes. But each time they came up empty-handed. No fingerprints, no DNA, and shockingly, no bodies left behind. How could something so sinister be shrouded in such darkness? Desperation began to set in. This is where the plot thickens. In a shocking twist, a former classmate of Vladimir and Igor came forward out of guilt. The name Anya echoed in whispered conversations. She revealed that the two had boasted of their exploits among friends, blurring the line between bragging and confession. They thought it was funny, she recalled, trembling. They said they were invincible. Authorities pounced on this crucial lead. But the surprise didn't end there. Tanya had hidden a key piece of evidence for months: the videos. She claimed they were stored on an old phone she hadn't dared to view. The room fell silent as the detectives' anticipation grew. Could this finally bring a reckoning? Days passed as they waited for the tech team to extract the data. When the moment arrived, every heart raced in the stifling office filled with anxious investigators. As the footage rolled, shock permeated the air, a horrifying insight into the duo's chilling world. The videos chronicled not just the acts but also places, faces, and chilling laughter echoed through the speakers. But suddenly, an unexpected twist hit like a freight train. The videos weren't solely a record of past crimes. They contained a hidden message, A direct challenge to authorities announcing that the killers had more victims. "Find us if you can," the screen flashed ominously, as investigators scrambled to decipher the clues embedded within the video. Another shocking discovery sent waves of disbelief crashing throughout the station. A new victim had emerged from the shadows, a girl named Anya, who claimed to have escaped their clutches. She was alive, but terrified. "When they came for me, I thought it was the end," she reported, her words clipped with fear, yet raw with urgency. "I watched them take others, but I was too scared to scream." Anya detailed harrowing tales of near capture. Her near miss, a stroke of luck against the odds. "They would watch and wait, but I escaped through the woods." The revelation sent shockwaves through every investigator present. If they could find Anya, perhaps they could uncover more about the killer's motives. But before they could act, the tide turned once more. Just as word spread about Anya's survival, the video surfaced online broadcasting the killer's return, and it quickly went viral. Excited laughter mingled with ominous undertones, a jarring juxtaposition that turned stomachs across the globe. They were daring authorities to act, flaunting their cruelty before the world. As social media erupted, the killers were glorified. Could they be heroes in their minds, or mere monsters? Attached to the investigation jumped in to analyze the gruesome appeal and chilling charisma the killers exuded on screen. Operators could be anyone. It could be your next-door neighbor. With pressure mounting, frustration boiled over among investigators. The community cried out for resolution, yet the trail grew cold. It was evident that the duo hid amongst them disguised as everyday citizens. But just as the investigation reached a breaking point, the most harrowing choice approached. Who could be trusted? Would they find the killers before they vanished again? Would Anya's testimony be enough? Just as the walls of the investigation began to close in on Vladimir and Igor, authorities were left reeling from Anya's harrowing revelations. She had escaped the clutches of the Dnepropetrovsk Maniacs, but the psychological scars she bore were far deeper than anyone could understand. Now, the pressure was on to track down the two monsters before they could strike again. The stakes had never been higher. As detectives feverishly reviewed the footage Anya provided, they noticed the chilling details in the background. Twisted laughter echoed ominously, but it was the locations that sent shivers down their spines. The duo recorded their crimes in various areas across Dnepropetrovsk, but certain places appeared repeatedly. The footage held subtle hints of where they might have their next victims: a rundown park, an abandoned factory, a dark alcove near the riverbank. "Do you think these spots mean anything?" Officer Thompson asked, staring hard at the screen as the videos played, fear growing in his gut. He could feel the weight of the investigation pressing down on him. "They're trophies," another detective speculated, crossing his arms. "Each spot has significance to them and their sickening game. They're flaunting it." The urgency reached a breaking point. The fear of more victims was palpable, and every second felt like an eternity ticking away. Would there be time to stop them? Or was another soul about to be lost? Racing against the clock, investigators dispatched teams to each location Anya identified. Meanwhile, the ominous sounds of the video echoed in their minds, a harrowing reminder of the cruelty lurking in the city. The first location, a grimy corner in a poorly lit park, produced nothing but emptiness and echoes. But the second location, an abandoned factory, was mercilessly different. A neighbor heard muffled cries from inside. "Get back up," Thompson shouted as he barreled toward the entrance of the dilapidated building. As officers flooded into the factory, they combed through the darkness, flashlights illuminating corners thick with dust. The air buzzed with tension, and every creak of the building felt like a ghost whisper. They hadn't traveled far before they stumbled upon a horrifying sight: an attached makeshift room inside the factory. What lay beyond the door sent ice through their veins: a table laid with evidence, personal belongings of the missing victims. identified through the photos and public reports. Who are these people? Thompson whispered in disbelief, realization dawning as they analyzed the contents laid out before them. As they processed the evidence, a guttural noise echoed through the hollow corridors of the factory, causing everyone to freeze. It was coming from deeper within the building. Could it be a victim calling for help? Thompson motioned for one officer to remain and secure the evidence while he and a small team cautiously advanced toward the sound. Heart pounding, he led them through darkened passageways until they reached another door, slightly ajar. On 3, he whispered, resolve hardening in his chest. *1, 2, 3. They pushed the door open, weapons ready, but inside they found something they never expected, a hidden chamber adorned with chilling memorabilia. It was a twisted shrine surrounded by photographs of past victims, newspaper articles, and even recordings of the duo's taunting comments, noted in meticulous detail. It's like a shrine to their success, Jenkins murmured, deeply unsettled. They're reveling in their sickening fame. But just then, a shocking twist cascaded down, ripping through the air like a thunderclap. In the corner of the chamber, they found another camera, a fresh recording device, still running. The officers exchanged horrified glances as Thompson approached to stop the recording. But just before he did, they caught sight of something horrifying, a live feed of another victim. It's still going, Thompson yelled, sweat pooling at his brow. We can't leave yet. We need to record this. The screen flickered, revealing a dimly lit room and the terrified face of a young girl bound to a chair, pleading for help. Please, someone, help me. The team's hearts raced. Is she alive? Jenkins stammered, horrified. But it didn't end there.